What's up, all my Ewoks, droids, and Wookiees? It's Anna, also known as that Star Wars girl, and today I'm going to be talking about how my favorite Star Wars writer is getting canceled and Me Too'd by some jealous bitches on the internet. Now, I know I'm late on this news. I do live under a rock. I only found out about this recently because I was doing my 200,000 subscriber live stream celebration, which, by the way, thank you so much, everyone. It is so incredibly humbling. And when I was doing this, somebody super chatted me about Chris, because those of you who are new to my channel, you probably don't know, I'm a huge KOTOR fan, specifically KOTOR 2. I love KOTOR 2. That's my favorite Star Wars game. And I know I haven't played them all, but the story in that game just absolutely blew me away, and Chris is the one that wrote that. And so when I finished KOTOR 2 for the first time, everyone was like, you have to watch two videos. You have to watch The Philosophy of Kreia, and you have to watch this interview with Chris Avellone, the guy that wrote the game. You have to listen to that. And so I did, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so good. And so people have asked me to, reach out to him and interview him on my channel. I said, no. I would, as much as I would love to talk to certain people that have worked on Star Wars or Star Trek or, the things that I love, I know the way that this ball rolls. I have been canceled so many times I have lost track, but they can't do anything to me. Canceling me doesn't do anything except for hurt them in a way, because I'll just make a video and expose them on it. But when you have somebody like Chris, who is very publicly working in the industry, he will get canceled by guilt by association if he has any kind of interaction with me. So as much as I would love to talk to people, I'm not going to, because I don't want to put that guilt by association on someone just because I want to nerd out about Star Wars, right? And so I explained this in my live stream. People were like, Anna, he's already being canceled. I was like, what? Why? What the fuck are these weirdos on Twitter mad about now? And apparently, he's getting Me Too'd. Now, he has a Medium, which is a website on the internet, which I know almost nothing about. So to my understanding, Medium is where people, it's a blog site, I think, and so it's just where people post articles about their life, which I guess is blogging. I don't know. I never got into blogging. It's not my thing, nor is it something I'm interested in. But he has a Medium, and so he posted about this whole entire situation and him canceling. So back in 2020, spring of 2020, he got fired and basically canceled and lost a lot of work that he was doing because this woman named Carissa decided to go on this rampage on Twitter accusing him of being a sexual predator and accusing him of, getting girls drunk so he can take advantage of them, not asking women their ages and stuff like that. And it's like, well, to be fair, because I would just like to put this out there whenever I see something like Me Too going on, okay, and they'll scream at the top of the lungs, victim blaming. I'm like, no. Women are supposed to be the bestest ever, right? Women are either the bestest ever, hashtag the force is female, hashtag yes queen, slay, or women are delicate flowers and hashtag believe all women. So I'm like, well, which is it? Because those are two very different things, right? Women are the bestest ever. Men are men need to be subservient to women because they're so stupid, or women are innocent and we need to protect them. I don't, they switch. It's one this day, one the next day, and they're canceling someone over either. And it's like, you try to help a strong, empowered woman, you're a sexist, misogynistic man, baby, we must silence you. But then if you don't help a woman, then you're, again, a sexist, misogynistic man, baby. So there's no winning in this situation. But I would just like to say, based on the points that she presented, it's like, all right, well, he didn't ask you his age, or he didn't ask you your age. Did you ask him his age? Did you? Did you know that you were accepting drinks from a man that's older than you? Well, I mean, I'm sure you could tell he was older than you, no offense, but I mean, she wants to go on this whole rampage about how she looks young for her age, and I saw the pictures. I'm sorry, but no, you do not. Not even back then, I'm sorry to say. Even he says in his own, Medium blog about how he thought she was his age. It's like, sorry, photos exist. I saw them with my own eyes. The tooting the own horn there was really, really hard. But so she basically, goes and accuses him of everything that we have heard time and time again when guys are getting Me Too'd. Was there any evidence? Absolutely not. From her, first off, it was hard enough to track down these tweets because she privated her Twitter account. And so it was hard enough to get like the correct screenshots. And so if I am able to get them all correctly, I will insert them into this video so you will see them as I am going through. But so she's going out of her way to comment on things, making all these accusations. Is there any evidence? Is there any proof? Absolutely not. We all just have to take her word for it. Now, you're asking millions of strangers on the internet to believe you. That usually doesn't work very well, at least in my case. Every single time, if I'm saying something, I show my receipts because I don't expect millions of people on the internet to believe me, a stranger. If I tell my mother a story, maybe my mother will believe me. If I tell my best friend, that's a different story, but strangers on the internet. But for whatever reason, all these strangers on the internet just instantly believe her. So, I read the lawsuit. There is a stream that Nick Rekeita did breaking it down. The link for that is in the description of this video. I would highly recommend watching it. He is a lawyer. I am not. I'm just going to give you, based on everything that I read from the lawsuit and the Medium posts, this is my view of the situation. Chris was the one that got taken advantage of because Carissa, the woman accusing him and trying to Me Too him, set him up to fail in this situation. She trapped him. Now, women do these things where we test men. So, Carissa met Chris at a bar after DragonCon back in 2012. That's how long ago this shit happened. I like how they all bring it up now. They didn't bring it up back when allegedly all these bad things were happening. They wait a significant amount of time until it's popular in media to cancel someone. Isn't that ironic? Does that seem like a real victim to you? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I see through this shit. So, she meets this dude at the bar. He's buying drinks for everyone. Right? He's buying a round of drinks. She's like, ooh, this guy's buying everyone drinks. Now, she claims she didn't know who he was. She is a professional, or she was a professional cosplayer. Give me a fucking break, you don't know who he is. Like, I don't believe that. But she claims she didn't know who he was. She's having drinks. We're all adults here. We all know how it goes. You meet someone at a bar, you hit it off, you're drinking, you're having fun. Him and a few other, I guess, friends walk her back to her hotel room. The other friends leave. They start making out, getting frisky in the hallway, having a good night. And then she's just like, oh, I'm actually sharing this hotel room with my friend. And I'm just like, then why didn't you go back to his room? And then, so he's just like, all right, cool. Like, I'll go, good night, whatnot. And she went into her hotel room. That is according to his story. According to her story, she had to basically tell him that she was on her period, and her period is what saved her. And I'm just like, girl, haven't you had sex before? Like, sometimes that's not... A majority of the time, the period stuff isn't really a deal breaker, and sometimes guys prefer it because they think you can't get pregnant when you're on your period. And some guys just don't fucking care because sex is sex at the end of the day. At least with that, you got a little bit more lubricant. Not to get too gross, but facts are facts there. So that was the thing that saved her, though. Her period saved her. And she goes on this long spout about how, periods are so, taboo in our society. It's like, no, it's fucking not. There's nothing about your period that's taboo except for you feminist weirdos that make it all about your period, okay? I'm sorry. I'm a woman. I don't need a comic book about your fucking period blood. I don't need 10 million things shoving down my throat. It's like, I already got to fucking deal with it. I don't like it as it is. We don't have to make it this glorified thing. It sucks. It makes us bloated. It makes us moody. And it makes me break out. Not happy about it. I don't need to make it into a superpower because it's fucking not. That's why they have birth control that will get rid of it for you. It's amazing. Try it. Especially if you're worried about hooking up with guys at cons. But so, what happens later, because after that initial encounter, they had another one where they were at another con, And then she she had to go. They were drinking all night, I guess. And then he walks her to the train station and they kiss goodbye. That's the end of it. Then, later, then later, in his Medium article, he links to another Medium article of somebody else, a man named Jeff, that came forward after watching all this shit that happened. And he's like, yo, this bitch is lying. I know she's lying because we had this private DM conversation about Chris. And she was very, forward about how she was interested in him, how he's kind of like her con boyfriend, and how she didn't know, if she should ask him where things were going and stuff like that, which everyone has been in a relationship before, I'm assuming. Everyone that has been in a relationship before, you all know how this goes, where you get to that point where it's like, where are we? What are we doing? Where is this going? And it's always an awkward thing to bring up because it's like, what if it is just casual? What if it is just sex? Or what if it is you're just having a good time, and if you bring it up, that's going to ruin it and ruin that good time you're having? So it's like, it is kind of scary to bring that up to someone, right? And so she's having this conversation with this guy, Jeff, which I think, based on the way it's presented, is that he was doing, he was setting up interviews and stuff, and this was a little bit more of a professional kind of setting. And I'm just like, well, the way she's talking to him, she's not talking to him like it's this professional work environment. She's talking to him like he's her, like, gay best friend, is the way that I got the impression, the way they're talking about Chris and getting relationship advice. And I was like, okay, she's obviously into him. She's obviously some kind of party girl, and she has fun at cons. Not judging there. You want to go do you, have fun at cons, that's fine. When it comes to canceling somebody because you didn't have the fun that you wanted, that's where I have the problem. So, later, they're at a con. She has a friend with her named Jackie. Now, this is where Chris fell into Chris's trap. Chrissa wanted to know where things were going, right? She wanted a relationship with him based on those private DMs. She wanted something from him. And so this was the test that she put Chris in. She has a friend there that the friend is kind of into him. Because we're all girls, we talk. It's like, oh yeah, who's that guy? Oh, he's cute, So she knew her friend was into him because us girls, we talk about everything. She knew. Also, people aren't stupid. People can tell when people are attracted to one another. She could tell Chris was interested back in Jackie. And so she presented this test to Chris, which was, hey, Chris, you should hit on my friend Jackie. And Chris, a lot of guys do this, which is, Chris believed her. He believed that she wanted him to hit on her friend Jackie, which, no, she fucking didn't. She wanted him to say, no, I want to be with you. The essence of it, that is what Carissa wanted. Women do this shit all the fucking time to see if a guy is really interested in them or not. And Chris failed Carissa's test because he believed her, took her word for it, and is like, she's telling him, go hit on my friend Jackie, go hit on my friend Jackie. He's like, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? And she's like, yes, go hit on my friend Jackie. She's into you. Go do it. Go after my friend. And he did. And he failed Chris's test because that's not what she wanted. And so now she's jealous, right? So her friend is dating the dude that she wanted to, continue pursuing some kind of romantic relationship with. And so Chris even explains that, they were never officially boyfriend and girlfriend, or they were never in a serious relationship. It was just kind of casual because it was long distance because they lived far away from each other. He was very stressed out and busy with work and things, when you are, seeing someone and it is, distance, there's a big amount of time that you have to dedicate to that and all this extra stuff that you have to dedicate to making that work. And he said he wasn't in the place for that, but, they were dating. They weren't official. There was nothing serious. There wasn't like plans to move in as far as I'm aware, but they were talking, they were texting, all of that fun stuff that we all have to do now as adults in this current kind of dating world. And again, this isn't even current dating world. this was years and years and years ago. I believe this was at least 6 years ago when all of this ended. But so girls speak to one another. We talk about everything. So when you are in a long distance relationship and there are those kind of bickering spats, because that's what happens, because there's that tension of being far away from each other. Is this going to work? Is this not going to work? Kind of stuff. Well, Jackie is talking to Carissa, right? This is what girls do. And so Jackie is, maybe if they get into an argument, maybe a little spat, she's venting to Carissa. Well, guess what? Carissa now has this photographic memory of every single time they get into an argument, because that's how girls work. And so Jackie and Chris, maybe they solved that. Maybe they got into a fight or they were bickering about something and they resolved it. They're happy again. Well, guess who's right there remembering why why Jackie was mad at Chris. Chris is right there with all that information, feeding it to Jackie, sabotaging their relationship from that side. And then also at the same time, according to Chris, in his blog on Medium, is texting him and getting involved and meddling in their relationship, because she didn't want this relationship to be there in the beginning. Even if it's not an official relationship, they're dating, they're involved romantically, right? Carissa did not want that from the beginning, so she is doing everything she can to sabotage it. Maybe even subconsciously. I don't think it's subconscious. I think it's 100% intentional. And, she's being that little snake in Jackie's ear, making Jackie upset, putting that stress that Jackie has on Chris, that frustration that Jackie has from Carissa, feeding her all of this bad stuff onto Chris. Chris is getting it from Chris as well, and, spammed text messages and stuff like that, to the point where, Carissa, according to Chris, was telling him to break up with Jackie. And so finally, Chris just couldn't take it anymore, and so he ended things with Jackie, even though Chris states multiple times that Jackie did not want the relationship to end. Even if unofficial relationship, she did not want their romantic involvement to end. But Chris did, because he wanted Carissa to fucking stop bothering him, right? And so Carissa got that little bit of victory, like, haha, I made them break up. If I can't have him, nobody can, which is exactly what's going on. And so this, again, was years and years ago. So, and he cut her out of his life. So she didn't get what she wanted. She got him to break up with Jackie, but she doesn't get him. She doesn't have that power over him anymore. If she's not involved with him romantically, she doesn't have that friendship. She doesn't have that guy to leech off of for that, twisted kind of validation that she was getting from him in some kind of twisted way or form. A very toxic relationship. That's what it was. And again, this is all of this information I have is from the lawsuit and Chris's Medium blog. And so years later, Chris talks about how what he thinks triggered her to go off on him in 2020 was that he was doing this interview thing, and she must have seen it because she commented on it, spewing all of this nonsense, and she saw him being successful during 2020 when COVID is going on. The world is losing its mind. What does she have to lose, right? So she decides to MeToo him. Also, conveniently, before she decides to MeToo him, she conveniently deleted 62,000 tweets on her Twitter. And she orchestrated this story about how Chris, he takes advantage of girls, right? He gets them drunk so that way he can, get them into sexual situations and they can't really do anything about it. He doesn't ask them their age. He preys on younger women. And it's like, give me a fucking break. When girls use that as an example, I'm like, do you not have fucking eyes? Can you not see that he is older than you? Not all men look younger than they actually are. Some men look older, some men look younger, some men look their age. I think Chris looks, from the pictures I've seen of him back then, he looked, mid-30s, early 40s, which was his age back then. So I'm like, he looked his age, right? She looked older than she was. That whole excuse is just complete garbage, because whenever women say that, I'm like, what was he a man child? Like, does he, not using the terminology that, SJW use, but I'm saying, like, there are some guys that look like little boys. Like, look at, oh my god, what, the kid that was in Game of Thrones, and he's like older than everyone else, the one that was the warg that then died. He was helping out Bran and then he died. I cannot remember that character's name from Game of Thrones, but him, like, it's hard to believe his age because I'm like, he looks like a child, like his face, he looks like a child, you know, especially in Game of Thrones, the way he was doing that stuff. So I'm like, unless, which is very rare, you don't really see very many men that are full-grown men that look like they're young teenage boys. So give me a break if you're going to use that as your excuse. Oh, well, he's taking advantage of younger women. It's like, well, do the women not have eyes? Don't accept a drink from an older, strange man. It's not fucking rocket science, I would think, but apparently that's too much to ask from some of these women these days. But so he's getting canceled, or is canceled. He got fired from a lot of the work that he was doing, and, you know, it's just, they've been working at destroying his life on zero evidence. All they're going on is the accusations of a few women on the internet, some of which claim that they slept with him, and Chris, even in his blog, said, he's like, I wasn't even on the same continent when this woman is claiming that we slept together. It's complete bullshit. And again, I will link everything in the description of this video. Maybe I'll do a live stream later on this week where I go through and I actually read his full-on blog. It's kind of long because it's got a lot of information. Even he says that he's left out a big portion of information. But based on the information that I read from him, from Jeff, from the lawsuit, all this is she is jealous because she wanted him to pick her and he didn't, and now she's going out of his way to be a vindictive cunt and ruin his life. That's all this is, and it's fucking bullshit. And so now he's got to take her to court for defamation, and that, you know, sometimes doesn't always work. We can look at, you know, what happened with Vic and everything there. And, I mean, suing for defamation when it has to do with, like, internet stuff, that's very hard to do because they never drew a clear line. You know, when these laws were made, it was before, you know, people were getting canceled left on right on Twitter. So it's very hard to, you know, do that in court. So my fingers are crossed for him because this is a really fucked up situation. But hey, he's provided all the receipts. People have come out, you know, like people like Jeff saying, hey, this bitch is fucking lying. Here's the receipts from our private conversation where she's calling him her con boyfriend. Now she wants to pursue a relationship with him. And this is coming from a woman that claimed that he took advantage of her, but she's talking about him wanting to be her wanting him to be her boyfriend. Doesn't add up, does it? And sorry, I'm losing my voice. But anyways, everyone, this is a fucked up situation. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comment section below. If there's anything that I missed, like information that I missed, please let me know below and link it in the comment section and I will take a look at it because this is beyond fucked up. Again, this is the dude that wrote KOTOR 2, my favorite Star Wars game. So maybe I do have a little bit of bias, but honestly, reading it, I'm inclined to believe the person that has the receipts that's actually, you know, that's actually providing evidence to what they're saying to the contrary, whereas she's just making accusations. And guess what? Her Twitter account is private. Everything on her is private. And so it's like, people that usually private their accounts are people that have something to hide. So, and based on her story, I mean, it's very transparent, in my opinion, but that's just my 2 cents on the situation. So again, everyone, let me know what you think about all of this in the comment section below. If you like this video, go ahead and smash the like button. If you didn't, that's okay too. Thank you so much for watching this far through. And until next time, I hope you have a great rest of your day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And may the force be with you because we are really, really, really going to need it. Bye, everyone. Hey everyone, if you'd like to help support the channel, check out my Etsy, where I sell prints of my original oil paintings and drawings that range from horror villains, heroes, and your favorite Star Wars characters. I also have an art channel where I post time lapses and tutorials, and also if you want to see work in progresses, I also have an Instagram dedicated specifically to that. Then finally, you can check out my Teespring for wearable merch, and all platforms are listed down below in the description of this video. So thank you so much everyone, and have a great rest of your day.